have a fantasy fight, whatever one at the end of it, I'm a world champion in the Hall of Fame. That's all I give a shit about.
Kris Moutinho!
Hey guys, welcome back to Smoke MMA. Today, I'm joined by the one and only UFC bantamweight prospect, Kris Moutinho. What's going on today, Mr. Moutinho?
Doing great, brother. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you for coming. So, your fight just got announced the other day against Guido Canetti. So, how you guys start training camp for that fight yet?
Yeah, it's gonna be a long training camp, man. I just got off of not really training super hard, so I wanted to get back in nice and slow, and it's gonna be a great camp, man. I still got like about 11 weeks, and just getting ready now. It's all starting to dial in, and gonna be ready for March 12th.
Gotcha. So, your opponent, Mr. Canetti, is there anything specific in him that you got to look out for in the fight?
Yeah, you got to watch out for everybody, man. Where I'm in at this point, I'm in the UFC. I'm at the top of the chain. Everybody in here is good, and he's tough, man. He throws big power punches, and he comes to fight, man. So it's gonna be one of those fights that I love, and one of those fights that I really enjoy, and can bring people watching the fight a great fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. So, in training camp, is there anything that you're specifically going to do to like counteract his type of style?
I'm just gonna focus on me, man. I'm just trying to improve on everything I have and all the tools I have. I have a great set of skills, man. I've been training for a very long time. I don't always go out there and show everything I have. You know what I mean? Which is something
Yeah.
I got. So we're working on everything, and we're just improving ourselves. Not so much worrying about what he's doing.
So where would you rank him like compared to your other opposition that you faced so far?
I fought some of the best dudes in the world even before I got into the UFC. You know what I mean? I was always
Yeah.
fighting top tier talent, man. I fought many guys that have made it to the UFC and many guys that are very close. So, yeah, man, he's obviously, man. I always look at the next guy. He's going to be the best guy, and it doesn't matter who he is or what ends up happening, man. I'm going to go out there pretending he in my head he's the UFC champion already. You know what I mean? That's who I'm training for.
Gotcha. And you were talking about like making it into the UFC. Can you explain like your journey from you used to be working like 80 hours a week? I'm pretty sure you said in a different interview. You went from working very often to now being in the UFC. What was that journey like to make it this far?
Yeah, man. I was working like 60, 70 hours a week. You know what I mean? 5, 6 days a week, and it was one of those things, man, where it goes from just being a drain on your everyday life. You know what I mean? You have to just focus on all your normal things and still having to make time to be around your family and be around people that you care about, and then go train at the same time. You can't really take days off. So it was tough, man. But when you have something that you truly love and something that you truly want, you have to make those sacrifices, man. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of time, and I still was still in the gym training more than anybody. You know what I mean? I'm still
Yeah.
working hard, just as hard as anybody. And I made it to UFC a month after quitting that job. I decided I was on a little win streak. I won a couple fights, and then I was like, only one or two more, and I'll be fighting on Contender or something like that. And then after a month after I quit that job, I'm in the UFC. I'm fighting on one of the biggest cards of the year, against a very big name, and brings a lot of money to the company. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, man. It's just a whirlwind of craziness that's been happening since then, man. And I'm excited to continue this career and make more big fights.
Gotcha. And do you feel like quitting that job and fully dialing in on MMA helped your mentality towards the sport?
Of course, you know what I mean. I got more time to train. I'm more time to do what I love to do every day. You know what I mean. And
Yeah.
just now I can start actually training like a professional. Before, it's like you kind of just like you go to work, and whatever time left you have left, you get a couple hours in whatever you got to do, and you can't really focus on anything. You know what I mean. Now I'm focusing.
Hmm.
I've got times where I do strength and conditioning, then I go focus on just boxing, then I go focus on just jujitsu or just wrestling, and I can really actually start to dial in and really focus on what I love to do instead of just having to fit it all into a small time period.
Gotcha. So before it was more like just a sport, and now it's more of like your actual lifestyle.
No, it was always my life. You know what I mean? It was everything
Yeah.
I had, man. Everything I did, and 10 years of my life just went down the drain. Relationships with people and things. I didn't really have time for much else, man. It's really, you have to commit everything to this if you want to do this. But it now I'm actually get to like really focus on it 100% and try to make this the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So what exactly got you involved in MMA? Like, how did you know that this is what you always wanted to do?
So I started when I was in high school wrestling, and then after I got out of high school, I was kind of doing the normal kid thing. You know what I mean? You're just going around, you don't
Yeah.
really know what to do, partying a little too much with your friends, and that stuff gets old really quick. You know what I mean? I'm not a
Hmm.
big believer in partying and all that shit. I never really liked that stuff, so I got really old and I wanted to compete again. My first coach, George Rivera, who fought in the UFC and was the UFC, fought pretty much every big name, opened up his gym in my hometown, and I just figured I'll try it, see what happens. It seems like it's kind of like wrestling, and then I just fell in love, man. And then it was down the rabbit hole from there. You know what I mean? It's just everything
Yeah.
I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Got you. So when you turned like when you turned pro and made your pro debut, what was it like? Like, what were the emotions? What was the feelings like?
It was not really much different than fighting any of my amateur fights or anything else. You know what I mean? I was put into a mindset where my coach was very old school. He had me set my brain off right. You know what I mean? We always fought the tough fights. So when I went pro, it was kind of the same thing, man. I was already fighting tough fights, so that's why I've always been so good at being able to handle the pressure of these things, because I've been in there. I've been in there with great fighters. I've been in there with very talented guys, and I know that my skill set is quality enough to hang with these guys. Whether I win, lose, or draw, I'm just there to fight. You know what I mean? I'm there to fight and
Yeah,
put on a show for
I
them.
got you. So talking about like how you never like hesitated or never took any step backs and you always fought the best competition. What was it like when you got the call to fight on UFC 264 on short notice?
It was it was it was almost to the point where I couldn't really enjoy it as much as I would have wanted to. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It was everything coming so quick, and the big name of my opponent, how large he is in the sport, it's kind of like made it very hard because I had so many cameras and so much in my face all at one time that I
Hmm.
couldn't really sit there and focus on it. Because if I did focus on it, I would have melted. You know what I mean? It was
Hmm.
almost too much at times. So I kind of just had to tune it in and just go out there and fight. This fight, I'm actually really excited because now I can just enjoy the whole process. I can enjoy the process. I can go in there and just go in there ready to fight. You know what I mean? I got plenty of time to get ready for it. I have plenty of time to do everything I need to do and go out there and show the world why I'm the most exciting fighter in the UFC.
I got you. And when accepting that fight on short notice, was there any hesitation behind it that you weren't going to be fully prepared, or did you just sign it right away?
No, I know I can fight on 10 days notice. 3 months notice. I know I'm gonna be in shape. I'm always ready to go, man. I could walk into a gym tomorrow without warming up and get in there and do 20 rounds because I know this is what I love to do and this is what I've been training most of my life to do. If I'm not ready to do it on a day's notice, then I shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? There was no
Yeah.
hesitation, man. You don't get many opportunities in life, man. You have to take and seize every big opportunity, and because if you say no, man, you don't ever know if they're gonna ever call you again. And that's the thing, man. As soon as they called me, I was ready. I was gonna be ready to go.
So you believe like putting out that good first impression is what's going to help you get more fights in the future?
I would hope so. You know what I mean? If not, then what am I doing this for? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I they going out there and putting on a great fight was going to keep me in there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's what I've been told most of my career by people that should know it. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm going to live.
So you fought in a couple other promotions outside of the UFC before getting into the UFC. You fought in the CFFC and the CES. Now, what separates the UFC from those two other promotions?
They were just they're pretty much just the first, man. This the grand scale of how they do it, and it's way bigger than any of the other shows. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
crazy to that effect, man. Because I went from being in a normal show outside with like a couple thousand people to being in a stadium with 20,000 people yelling, and the sheer numbers of humans. I've never even seen that many people in one spot. So it's just crazy, man. But it's when it comes down to the fighting, it's the same. It's no different, man. You could be in front of 20,000 people, you could be in front of two people, and you're not gonna know the difference. You know what I mean?
Hmm. So you think, or not? So you think? So you're saying, when you get in the octagon, it's like you're just zoned in on your opponent. It doesn't matter who's around you.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? If I'm focusing on all these people around me, then I'm not really focusing on fighting. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
When it comes down to it, man, I'm just there to fight. I'm not there to worry about. I don't want to be a superstar. I don't want people. I'm a very shy, introverted person. I don't really like talking to a lot of people. I don't really. I usually just go to fights and then scram and go get some junk food. You know what I mean? So I'm not really worried about how many people are there, man. I'm just worried about punching the other dude in the face, getting punched in the face a little bit, and letting out some of my demons. You know.
Yeah. So you were scheduled to fight Aaron Phillips on the Costa versus Vittori card. Now, what happened to that fight that it ended up getting canceled? And do you see yourself still fighting Aaron Phillips in the future?
I don't really care who I fight in the future. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna let the
Hmm.
UFC. Uh, he was the first dude they offered me last time, so I said yes. This is the first dude they offered me this time, and I said yes. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep taking the guys they offer me and try to go out there and put on a show. You know what I mean? I was training really hard for that fight. I was training 3 4 times a day. I wasn't dialed in. We were only a couple. We were like 6 weeks out. I was ready to go, and then I was at sparring, and I got my rib popped. You know what I mean? I
Ooh.
got kicked in the rib. It popped my rib, and it was gonna be kind of. It was kind of like I couldn't really train. You know what I mean? I couldn't really
Hmm.
breathe. I couldn't definitely couldn't take a shot on the ribs, and I couldn't really grapple. So it wasn't much I could really do, and I'm not going. I already took a early notice fight. I already took a 10-day fight, so I'm not going to go in there. Every other fight I get from here is going to be well trained, well prepared, and I'm gonna make every one of them count, man. I'm not going to take any fights on where I'm at a disadvantage.
Got you. And so when you're saying that you want to be fully trained for your fight, what do you think like sorry, do you feel like having a short notice camp put you at a disadvantage already going into that fight?
No, I think for that situation it was fine because it if I had 3 months to think about it, maybe who knows what would have happened, man. Maybe I wouldn't have fought the same way, or maybe I wouldn't have. There was things I could have done different. Obviously, there was plenty of things to improve on, and that's what we've been doing. And I can't wait to go out there on March 12th and show the world everything that I've improved, how much I've improved.
Gotcha. So what were some of those improvements that you've made in camp so far, if you don't mind saying?
Yeah, man, it's just everything about my game, my wrestling, my jujitsu, my striking, seeing things coming, using more. Everything's been bumped up. So I'm just ready to go out there and show him. And regardless of what he hears, he's seen, what he thinks he sees, is always getting better. It's always changing, and I can't wait to go out there and lay my hands on people.
Got you. And do you feel like you've made the right improvements in camp? Like every time you go out, like do you change something in camp between every fight, or is it usually like the same routine?
No, I got the same guys. You know what I mean. I add people here and there. My circle is very small for a reason. You know what I mean. I don't need to change much. I don't have to. I see all these guys. They have to. As soon as they get bigger, they go to a big promotion. They leave their gyms and they go somewhere else. They go. I need to go to this. I've been all around the country, man. I've been to some big gyms. I've been to these things, and it's not much different, man. I got great people at home, great teammates, great training partners, great coaches, man. I added one of my boxing coaches added to my my coaching staff, added a boxing coach. I got my
Hmm.
coach Brian and Tommy over at Regiment Training Center, man. And I trust these people more than anything, man. Without these people, I wouldn't be here, and I'm just super happy to be where I am today.
Got you, got you. So, um, I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. So how often do you plan on fighting in 2022 after March 12th?
It just depends on how it goes. You know what I mean? How well I feel, if I get hurt. These are all intangibles. I can't control them till the outcome happens. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Regardless of what happens, I'm gonna try to be as active as I can be. You know what I mean? That's how the sport goes. Get me out, get the ball rolling. I'm trying to get to that belt, man. However long it takes. You know what I mean? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Ready to put the wins away, and start making my name on the making my name in the UFC.
Got you. And what do you feel like a big win against Guido Canetti will do to your career after March 12th?
Right now, I don't know what it will do. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna keep, like I said, I'm just gonna keep trying to put him away and take the next guy the UFC offers me, and we just go from there, man. I trust my team and I trust everything. Do whatever they say, whoever they say to fight, I'm gonna fight and go out there to put a crazy show on for the fans every time, man. I want to be the most exciting guy in the UFC. I want the bonuses every time I step in the cage, and I want to put on shows that every time I come on, people are buying the card and screaming my name. You know what I mean? Regardless if I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I'm a shy dude. Don't really like people like the attention, but I want this is everything I've done for the last 10 years of my life. My whole adult life has been devoted to fighting, and I want to make sure that I do it justice.
Got you. And you're one of the prospects in the UFC bantamweight division. What do you think sets you apart from the other competition in the bantamweights?
I just my heart and my willingness to put myself in these bad positions and situations and know that you can't break me. You know what I mean? You can't break me mentally. You can't break my spirit. I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep improving. You know what I mean? I'm getting better
Mm-hmm.
and better as I get older, man. I'm not getting any younger, but I'm just getting better, and I can't wait to go out there and show these guys who I am.
Got you. So those are all the questions that I currently have prepared. Up next, if you want, we could do it's a game that I like to play called 10 and 10, where I have the top 10 contenders, so number 9 to the champion of the bantamweight division, and then you just give your thoughts on them in like a brief amount of time, and we just go one to the next.
Okay.
All right. So starting the list out at number 9, we have Marlon Moores.
He Mirage is a very talented dude who's fought everybody in the world. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna
Mm-hmm.
bash any guys. You know what I mean? They're all killers. They're also this is the best. In my opinion, is the best weight class in the UFC. Man, we have the most talented fighters, and Mirage is just a straight savage, man. Crazy leg kicks, and he's always there to fight.
Gotcha. Then we got Marlon Vera.
Farrah's another tough dude, very talented dude. Beats a lot of really good guys. He's only really lost the lost the top tier guys, and he's just there he's just a bruiser, man. He's ready to put everybody out now.
Now, what was your opinion on his fight with Frankie Edgar at UFC 268?
It sucks, man. It sucks when you see guys that were world champions and legends like Frankie Edgar, and their bodies start to give up on them, man. But I would never tell a guy to give up or stop fighting if they're not ready to. We're all adults and we make our decisions. It's sad to see legends when they start to go on that downslide though.
Got you. So then we got Dominic Cruz.
One of the best bantamweights ever in history. You know what I mean? He's got a very unique style. He's very tricky, and he's a tough puzzle to figure out, man. He keeps pulling out wins on some of the top guys in the division.
Do you feel like his style is just going to be a problem with anyone he fights?
Yeah, he's getting a little bit slower at it. You know what I mean? He's starting to get caught a little bit more, but it's still just so many tools, so many puzzles, and the way he moves. It's not really realistic. It's not a real natural movement. It's a very weird one, awkward style that you have to try to figure out on the fly. It's not easy.
Got you. Then we got Cody Garbrandt.
Garbrandt's tough, man. He hits hard. He's another one. He's on a skid, but he's a warrior, man. He's a warrior, and he's beaten some very talented guys.
Do you feel like he should stay on his move to flyweight, or do you think he should come back up to bantamweight?
It depends on how he adjusts from here. I think the last one, it was his first one. He fought a really talented fighter at 25. It's kind of when you start doing big cuts like that, you have to let your body kind of adjust to it. I don't think it was adjusted yet, so who knows? It depends on how it keeps going. But you saw it with like Jose Aldo the first time he went down to 35, or when he fought Peter, which is Peter's still Peter, but he didn't look as good as he's looked in his last couple fights. You know what I mean? I think after that first one, he's starting to get the hang of it, and his body's starting to feel more natural at 35. So it's gonna be just give and take.
Got you. Then we got, sorry, Murad Davashi. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Merab Dashvili. He's a warrior, man. That guy is a beast, man. He's super big. He's got super good gas, and he just keeps coming. So he's a dangerous dude for that division for sure. Always exciting to watch him fight, man. So I'm just happy to be in the division, see these guys go. You know.
Yeah. Now, do you see yourself fighting? Like, how long before you're going to be one of these top 10 guys? How long before you're going to be fighting up here with these guys in these ranks?
Only time will tell, man. You gotta watch it just like everybody else. You know what I mean? Just keep watching, bro. You'll see. You'll see how it goes.
Got you. Then we got Rob Font.
Yeah, I know Rob Font. He's pretty well. He's a warrior, man. He's in the next few years he'll probably be the world champion. You know what I mean? He just always gets better, man. He goes through these ups and downs and then only improves, man. He never goes on a skid, man. The kid loses and then goes on a tear. So I see him being the champ in a few years.
Now, what was your opinion on his fight with Jose Aldo?
It's a tough fight, man. You got a very game Jose. Jose's looked great in his last couple fights, and you can't ever look down on Jose. The guy is a legend. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame and one of the best 45ers to ever do it. Now he's at 35 and he's gigantic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then we got Corey Sandhagen.
Sandhagen's another one. He's a monster, man. Arguably gave Peter Yan his toughest fight he's ever had. You know what I mean? Kid is so good in all different ranges, all different angles, and really good off his back, really good on top. So the kid is just a puzzle for everybody.
Now, who do you think he should fight next? Because a lot of people have been debating some matchups in this division, and he's been a very talked about name. So who do you think he should fight next?
I have no clue, man. He could fight Cole. He could fight Dominic. He could fight Jose. He could fight any, they could find all different kinds of matchups and reasons why he should fight here or there. So, I'm not a matchmaker, man, but one of those guys for sure.
Got you. Then we got Jose Aldo.
Go. You know what I mean? I don't really have to say much else. Everybody knows Jose is next level. He's a super great fighter, and he's a very humble dude.
Got you. Then we got TJ Dillashaw.
Regardless of what anybody thinks you think about him or the backlash of him with the steroids and everything, he's still a great fighter, man. He still works very. It looks like he works extremely hard, and he's a very competitive dude that wants to be the best, and he's very well could be.
Do you believe he's next in line for a title shot after Jan versus Sterling?
I would assume so if he keeps winning. But they're probably going to get him another fight against somebody, whether it be Jose or somebody else. So who knows? If he keeps winning, then I would assume so.
Got it. Got it. Then we got Petr Yan.
Peter Yan, I think, is basically should be the champion. I think he's his skill set's really good. Boxing, long distance fighting, the wrestling, everything. He's just a very high level fighter. You know what I mean? I think
Mhm.
he if that fight with him and Aldo go again, I think Peter takes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then we got the current champion, Aljamain Sterling.
Still a great fighter, you know what I mean. Regardless if I think Peters could beat him or not, whatever the situation is, he's still a great fighter, great wrestler, great jiu-jitsu, great striking. He's just the top of the line, man. Regardless if he loses to Peter or not, he's still in one of the top bantamweights in the UFC.
Got you. So that's the top 10 in the bantamweight division. And so up next, I would want to run through some upcoming fights with you and get your predictions on them and how you think they're going to go.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right. So starting out the list, we got Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane.
That's a tough fight. You know what I mean. Cyril is so really good. They used to train together. I think Ngannou takes it, but everybody I vote on, don't bet your money on because every time I pick somebody, they lose. So it is the way it is.
Then we got Brunson versus Cannonier.
Brunson's looked really good. But Cannonier is a monster, man. I think Cannonier takes it, but it's gonna be a tough fight.
Then we got Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, the trilogy.
I think Moreno takes it again. I think Moreno's just got his number. Not. I don't think after losing arguably losing twice, like I don't think you take it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Then we got Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze.
Yeah. Calvin's a monster. You know what I mean? I've watched him up close, seen him train. You know, he's a beast, man. Giga's a really tough fight, but I think Calvin puts it on him.
Got Beneil Dariush versus Islam Makhachev.
It's a tough fight too. Islam's last fight looked really good, man. I think Islam takes it, but Beneil's a really tough dude as well.
And we got Robert Whitaker versus Israel Adesanya too.
I think that's another one. That's another one where I think Easy just got his number. You know what I mean? The last time he beat him was really bad. So I think that weighs on your brain sometimes. I don't know if he's gonna be able to work his way through that.
Gotcha. Now, these next three fights, these next two fights, these have been talked about to be in the works, but they have not been confirmed yet. And these are Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz.
That's an exciting fight. You know what I mean? That's exactly what. That's a fan fight for sure. You know what I mean? The fans are gonna love that one, man. I think Poirier beats Nate, but I think that's one of those ones that everybody's gonna pay to see. You know.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Colby Covington versus Kazmat Chimaev.
Hamzat's a tough fight for anybody, man. I think that guy's really good. I think he's a little bit bigger than Kobe, but Kobe's a dog. You know what I mean? Kobe's a dog. Doesn't get tired and puts a pace on him. So that would be a good one, man. I think Kobe takes it though.
Gotcha. And that's all that I got for the upcoming matchups that have been talked about and or confirmed. So now I got one last question for you, and that's what is your fantasy fight that you want the UFC to make for either your opponent to be or like to watch?
The fight I would really like to see is I would like to see uh Jones versus Ngannou, but they're not gonna pay them enough money. That would be a really cool fight. Or like, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I don't really watch fights, like I said. I don't really, and as for me, I don't really care whoever they put. I don't have a fantasy fight. Whatever one at the end of it, I'm a world champion in the Hall of Fame. That's all I give a shit about at the end of the day. So, yeah, man, Ngannou versus Jones fight would be really cool, but they're never gonna pay them enough to do that.
Gotcha. And then who would you pick in that matchup?
I think Ngannou is just a monster, man. He hits really hard, but John's the goat, man. He's one of the best fighters. Despite all his stupid shit that he does outside the ring, he's still one of the best fighters to ever do it. I think is the best fighter to ever be in the cage. So I think John would take it.
Got it. So that's all I got prepared. So is there anything else you want to say to whoever watching this video?
No, man, just thank you guys. Thank you anybody who watches me, follows me, and all that stuff. Thank you for having me on, bud. Follow this young man and his crazy this great thing that he's doing, man. I appreciate everybody, man. You want to follow me on Instagram, so all my social medias. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna put all your social medias in the link to this video. And thank you so much for coming on and do this interview with me.
Yep. God bless, brother. Thank you so much.